Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Flashback Comics here in Woodbridge, Virginia. I am Troy David Phillips, your host, and today I'm going to give you part 2 of my segment on Venom, the black costume that Spider-Man wore through the 1980s, which became one of his greatest, most fiendish nightmare characters, and has become, in the days since then, something of a hero. And is currently the star of his own Venom series, where he is something more of an anti-hero. So, Eddie Brock and the symbiote went through a rather convoluted time together, where the suit and Eddie became fascinated, fixated, almost obsessed with protecting the innocent. And Eddie Brock became a traveling anti-hero. Eddie and the suit were separated and rebonded and separated again, and the suit spawned off an offshoot, and this was the character Carnage. The symbiotic offshoot had bonded to the serial killer Cletus Kasady, and that gave us Carnage. Remember the Maximum Carnage storyline? Okay, shooting a little further forward here, Eddie Brock permanently separated from the suit, and the suit was rebonded with a new emotionally unstable individual, this time Mac Gargan, aka the Scorpion. Now, this bonding yielded the Venom that you may remember from the Thunderbolts series, and you may remember from Norman Osborn's Dark Reign into the Siege on Asgard. Mac Gargan was not as passionately predisposed against Spider-Man as Eddie Brock had been, but he was still violent and somewhat psychotic. And the suit, unfortunately, responded to those emotional triggers. Now, the suit itself, the alien symbiote, is part of an alien race called the Clintar. And the Clintar are themselves emotionally sensitive. The tendency of the Clintar was to bond to the host and then use the host up. However, the Venom suit didn't want to use its host, it wanted to perpetuate the relationship. This led to the suit being exiled from its race, and this is how it ends up on the Battle World planet, coming to Peter Parker, bringing us back full circle. Love that flashback sequence. Mac Gargan, following the events of Siege, the Siege on Asgard, was put in the vault and separated permanently from the suit, and the suit was bonded next to Flash Thompson. Flash Thompson, U.S. Army soldier, military training and discipline. Flash also is a wounded warrior. Having lost the use of his legs, the suit gave him the ability to walk again, walk and, leap and spin webs and lift 10 tons above his head, etc., etc. However, Flash can only wear the symbiote for up to 48 hours without risking a permanent bonding. Flash, however, unlike the previous hosts, Flash was not emotionally distressed, and he was not predisposed towards violent psychoses. And he and the suit actually came to a much greater understanding of each other. Flash was able to purge some of the more violent antisocial tendencies from the symbiote, and their working eventually led them into the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Venom Space Knight series. Now, as you know, the Guardians of the Galaxy came back to Earth during the events of Civil War II and were grounded when their spaceship blew up. Rocket Raccoon was very, very distressed about this. And through storytelling that we have not fully seen yet, Flash and the symbiote were separated. The symbiote has found a new host, and that new host will take you through the pages of the current Venom series, which is currently on 6 issues. So, that, in a nutshell, is the history of Venom, the alien symbiote, the Clintar. And that brings us to the end of another flashback segment. Enjoyed talking to you. By all means, send me your questions, send me your comments, and let me know where you want to go from here. I do not want to go to the planet of the symbiotes, however, so if we can avoid that, that would be fantastic.